Jai Opetaia versus Huseyin Cinkara is happening this Saturday for the IBF World Cruiserweight title. And guys, I have to be honest. I have to be honest and I have to call a spade a spade. This fight is a mismatch. Huseyin Cinkara is not on the same level as Jai Opetaia. And that is no knock to Jai Opetaia. In fact, that is a credit to Jai Opetaia because he's doing what every champion should do. He's doing what boxers should do, and that is to fight their mandatories and give other fighters the opportunity to compete for the world title. And if you guys know, if you've been following this channel for a while, I have always been advocating for fighters getting their fair shot to the world title, you know, getting the chance to prove themselves on the world stage. And this is no knock to Huseyin Cinkara. You know, this is his opportunity to see if he can beat Jai and to compete at the world level. And, you know, he deserves that because he's fought his way into this position. Now, the Cruiserweight division is not the most competitive division right now. In fact, apart from the top guys, which is Jai Opetaia, Zerda Ramirez, and now David Benavidez wanting to come into Cruiserweight, maybe Badu Jack. Apart from that, there's not much going on in the Cruiserweight division. So you're not going to get a lot of competition to fight the likes of Jai and Zerda Ramirez or David Benavidez. So these guys are still in a position where they still have to fight their mandatories, and Jai Opetaia is doing the same. But Huseyin Cinkara is nowhere near the level that should be in the ring with Jai Opetaia. We all know what we want Jai Opetaia to do. We all know the fights that we want to see next. But Jai has to do the right thing and he has to fight his mandatory. And that's exactly what he's doing. Now, Huseyin Cinkara, as I said, is not on the same level as Jai Opetaia. The guy is currently 40 years old and he has a record of 23-0. And out of that 23 fights, he's got 19 knockouts. I am currently looking at Huseyin Cinkara's box rec, and there's no real fighters on there. There's nobody, you know, no disrespect to anybody on his record, but there's nobody that's known to be a very good fighter, right? There's nobody on there that, you know, is known to be a fantastic fighter that he's beaten. So basically, he's just beating a bunch of guys that are no good, and you know that's no knock to him. He's just who he is, and he's just fought who's in front of him. And Jai Opetaia is the real test for him. But looking at that record, he hasn't beaten anyone. And we know Jai's pedigree. Jai has been in there with, you know, some really good fighters. You know, Maris Braders, who is a great champion in his own right, the time that he's been champion. So, you know, Jai has fought some of the good fighters, Jack Massey, and all these guys that are pretty good fighters, better than any fighter than Huseyin Cinkara has fought. So we can basically confidently say that Jai Opetaia definitely has a better record than Huseyin Cinkara. So look, I think it's a mismatch. I think this fight does not go past 5 rounds. I think if it does go past 5 rounds, maybe it is Jai Opetaia, you know, looking to work on a few things, and he, you know, trying to get some rounds in because he hasn't had a lot of rounds in the past 2 years, let's put it that way. So maybe Jai working on a few things, letting this fight go past, you know, 5 rounds. But I think, you know, if Jai is unsung and he's serious about this and he just doesn't want to get paid for overtime, he should get rid of Huseyin Cinkara, you know, very quickly. Now, Huseyin Cinkara is someone that is undefeated, and an undefeated fighter is always a pretty dangerous fighter. So I expect Cinkara to come out there and give his best. I expect him to come out there and believes that he can win, because why not? You know, this is boxing. Anything can happen. Huseyin Cinkara might land a shot and, you know, basically upset the apple cart, like upset everything. And we've seen that happen in boxing so many times. Although I don't think that would happen, but that is very possible because boxing is, you know, the most exciting sport in the world, because the underdog in a fight on a given day can prove everyone wrong. And Huseyin Cinkara has the opportunity to do that. If he beats Jai, the universe is his to go about and choose which fights he wants and earn some good money for himself. So, you know, he has the opportunity to do what he wants to do. But I expect Jai to go in there, establish his jab, you know, control the distance, use, you know, his movement. You know, he likes to do this up and down movement where he tried to get in range and then land some big shots and get Huseyin Cinkara out of there, because it's not a fight that is going to be much of a competitive fight. Let me put it that way. So look, get in the comment section and let me know what you think about Jai Opetaia versus Huseyin Cinkara. Are you giving Huseyin Cinkara any chance at all? If any chance, if you're giving him any chance, what chance are you giving him? What percentage are you giving? Because I would go 15%, right? 15% for Huseyin Cinkara because of the complexity and the fact that we don't know what boxing on the night would deliver, because anything can happen. But I don't see him providing any competition to Jai Opetaia. And after this fight, we all know what should happen. Like, we all know what we want to see Jai Opetaia do. Now, it's either Zurdo Ramirez or David Benavidez. Now, David Benavidez has said he's moving up to fight Zurdo Ramirez, which I made a video talking about the fact that it was a disgrace because Zurdo Ramirez was ducking Jai Opetaia, and he is. But maybe this works out very well for Jai Opetaia, because if Benavidez gets up there and he beats Zurdo, it becomes a massive fight for Jai to take. If Zurdo beats Benavidez, it becomes a massive fight, because then all of a sudden, people go, now you got to fight Jai Opetaia. You got to fight him. So, and if Benavidez does the same, as I said, people will be asking for Benavidez to fight Jai. And that would be a cracking fight. That would be literally two fighters that do not move backwards, do not fight on the back foot, meeting in the center of the ring and basically having a shootout. It's going to be a gunfight. And if it happens, I'm going to break that fight down and tell you who I think wins that fight. But this is something for Turki Sheikh to think about, to want to make, because the Cruiserweight division, I've always said it, has to come together. We need to have a unified, undisputed champion in the Cruiserweight division before the belt gets scattered and you know, other fighters, you know, move up from super middleweight into that division and try and conquer some of the belts. So we need to see a unified champion in the Cruiserweight division. And hopefully this fight between Jai Opetaia versus Huseyin Cinkara is the last fight of Jai Opetaia fighting, you know, fighters that have no pedigree to fight him in a ring, right? This should be the last fight where Jai Opetaia is fighting guys that he can easily beat. After this fight, Turki Sheikh, get involved and make the big fight in the Cruiserweight division, because that is the only way that division can improve, by having a Cruiserweight undisputed champion, by having the top guys fight each other rather than, you know, taking on mandatories, which they should take. But, you know, unification fights should trump all mandatories, and especially the undisputed fight in the Cruiserweight division should be the fight that should be the priority in the division, and it should trump all other fights. And that's exactly what a lot of fans, including myself, would want to see Jai Opetaia and the likes of Zurdo or David Benavidez get involved and do. So get in the comment section, let me know what you think about this fight, your prediction, but also what you think Jai Opetaia should do next after beating Huseyin Cinkara. My name is Bright, this is the Bright Show Podcast Boxing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.